Assalamu alaikum dear students. In this lecture we are going to study about the punctuation marks in writing. When writing the subject composition writing, so it's very necessary to study about the punctuation marks, which are the, I think for me it's the backbone of the understanding of the any content, that without the punctuation marks we are unable to understand the content. So the lecture outline is, we are going to study about the punctuation marks in the English grammar, and then we are going to study the importance of the punctuation marks in English language. So let's begin towards the lecture. Okay, the very first image, that why the punctuation mark is important. Correct punctuation can save a person's life. So we have two sentences here, like let's eat grandpa, let's eat, grandpa. So there is a hell of difference between these two sentences. The first sentence is showing let's eat grandpa, like that the children or someone is going to eat their grandpa. When like someone is calling, okay, let's eat grandpa. Oh, that is when someone hears that OMG, that is sounds very weird, like it's a totally nonsensical statement, that let's eat grandpa, that someone is going to eat their grandpa. So, and when we say let's eat, break grandpa, it means that grandpa, let's eat, that someone is inviting his or her grandpa to eat for the food. Like when we call someone for the dinner, for the lunch, for the breakfast, or whatsoever, but the food is, the second sentence is conveying the meaning that someone is inviting their grandpa to eat the food. So see how the punctuation marks can change the meaning of a sentence. So the very first thing is this is the importance, that the punctuation marks totally changes the meaning of a sentence. What is punctuation? Punctuation is the system of symbols, that is whatever the symbol is, either dot, either comma, either exclamation mark, either dash, either colon, that we use to separate sentences and parts of sentences and to make their meaning clear. Each symbol is called a punctuation mark. If a punctuation mark is essential in writing, show where sentences start and finish, make writing easy to understand. So this is also the importance of punctuation marks, that these show that where the sentence is start and where the sentence is going to finish, and it makes writing easy to understand. For example, just consider the punctuation mark, that is a full stop. If there is no full stop in any piece of writing, then how can you get the meaning of a sentence clear, that where a one sentence or one complete thought is ending and where another thought is starting? So that would create a ambiguity in the whole concept. So for this, the punctuation marks are used in the English language. So there are 14 punctuation marks in English grammar in total. That is we can say either the full stop, or we can say either the period, the question mark, the exclamation point, or we can say the exclamation mark, comma, semicolon, colon, dash, hyphen, parenthesis, brackets, braces, apostrophe, quotation marks, and ellipsis. So let's study one by one that what they are. The first one is a period or full stop. When we use a period or a full stop, this is, you all know, a sentence is the expression of a complete thought. So full stop are used to mark the end of a sentence, that is a complete statement. For example, my name's Beth and I was 18th in July. 18 in July. After leaving school, she went to work in an insurance company. When a sentence or when a complete thought ends, we add a full stop or a period. Like, let's slow down for a second here. We better just stop right now. Or I'm not going to school. Okay, so here we use the period or full stop. Then comma, the most popular mark of punctuation, the comma. In Greek, the comma was a piece cut off from a line of words, what in English today we call a phrase or a clause. So in Greek, comma was used to when there is a piece in a sentence is cut off. But now in English, what we call in a sentence as a clause or a phrase. Since the 16th century, comma has referred to the mark that sets off words. That sets off means that divides the words, phrases and clauses. When a comma is used, the comma is mainly used to separate items in a series or list, to separate phrases and clauses, to separate question tags from the rest of the sentence, to separate certain words like however, moreover, in addition to, in short, in fact. They are all phrases. Of course, firstly, secondly, etc. To separate spoken part of the text from the unspoken part. When words or phrases are used in direct address after the words like yes, no, oh, and etc. The question mark. The question mark is used to show that a direct question has been asked, whether in direct speech enclosed within inverted commas or as a part of passage of writing. A statement which asks a question shall attract an interrogation mark. We either say the question mark or we either say as an interrogation mark. Like when we ask a question, so we add a question mark or interrogation mark. What do you think I should wear for the party tonight? Question mark, asked Seema. The exclamatory mark, to exclaim over something, a dramatic confession, a warning, an expression of anger or joy. When actually the writers are going to convey an emotion to the reader, we put the exclamation mark. That emotion is either of the joy, happiness, anger, sadness, or like any warning, we use the exclamation mark. An exclamatory mark is used after a strong imperative sentence. For example, keep quiet. After the words expressing anger, joy, surprise, sorrow, etc. Example, what a victory. Oh, that was a terrible accident. What a wastage of money on these elections. This is with like expressing the anger, that what a wastage of money on these elections. Next comes the colon, a mark of punctuation used after a statement, usually an independent clause that introduces a quotation, an explanation, an example, or a series. So when after the independent clause, when we are going to introduce a quotation, or we are going to explain something, or we are going to give an example of something, or we are going to list a series, we use a colon. For example, she had 2 obsessions. What are 2 obsessions? Movies and ballet. Semicolon, a mark of punctuation used to connect independent clauses. So we have studied before that what are the dependent clauses and what are the independent clauses. These are used to connect the independent clauses and show a closer relationship than a period does. Use a semicolon when you want to form a bond between 2 statements, typically when they are related to or contrast with one another. When 2 statements, when 2 independent clauses are related to each other, when 2 thoughts are related to each other, then use the semicolon instead of the full stop. Like for example, the ice cream truck man drove my house today. He had big hairy knuckles. So the statement is about the ice cream truck man, so we instead of the full stop we add the semicolon. The ice cream truck man drove by my house today. He had big hairy knuckles. How do I use a semicolon? If you have two independent clauses, meaning they could stand alone as their own sentences, it's okay to use a semicolon. For example, my aunt also had hairy knuckles. She loved to wash and comb them. Difference between semicolon and colon. Semicolon is used to connect two independent clauses. Each clause stands alone as a sentence. Two clauses are somewhat related. So two clauses are related to each other in a sense. Colon is used to give examples and present a list. Is used to the part before the colon should be able to stand alone. Dash, when we use dash, is technically known as an end dash, used to set off a word or phrase after an independent clause or to set off words, phrases or clauses that interrupt a sentence. Sometimes, however, you might wish to place special emphasis on the component, but commas are too weak to serve this purpose. If this is the case, you may wish to use dashes for added emphasis. For example, Linda Simpson, the president's most trusted economic advisor, will resign her office during today's press conference. Linda Simpson. We are going to add the more emphasis. We use dash, that is called the end dash. The president's most trusted economic advisor. Then we, instead of comma, we add dash, will resign her office during today's press conference. Hyphen, a short horizontal mark of punctuation used between the parts of a compound word or a name or between the syllables of a word when divided at the end of a line. So when words are divided or when a compound word is used, we use hyphen. His out of tune bagpipes are giving me a headache. Mother-in-law versus mother-in-law. So difference between m dash, n dash and hyphen. M dash denotes a pause in thought, a parenthetical statement, or more casually after an afterthought. M dash is used after a thought. N dash denotes a range, especially of numbers, such as like when we use like 1 to 40, 1 to 50. Hyphen is used for coordination, able-minded, pre and post-turing, like the hyphenation of words. Moreover, an n dash is used with spaces. Hyphen and m dashes are used without them. Brackets, parentheses or braces. These three are used to set off material that is not very closely related to the rest of the sentence. They usually give extra information. For example, the findings of the research referred to appendix are quite surprising. Katrina, a hurricane, had a devastating effect on thousands of people. Generally, parentheses refers to round brackets and brackets to square brackets. However, we are more and more used to hearing these referred to simply as round brackets or square brackets. We shall also learn about the difference between parentheses, brackets and braces. The slash or oblique, most often to represent exclusive or inclusive or division and fractions, and as dates separated in writing as a period, sometimes in writing poetry. The shift of lines is conveyed by the use of the slash. When we are going to separate something and we are going to divide, we use either slash or we can say either oblique. Or when we are going to in mathematics, we are going to give a fraction of something. So this is all about the punctuation marks. But we have studied the several punctuation marks in the English grammar. There are several punctuation marks in the English grammar, and we have studied one by one then how they are used. And then we have studied the very first one was the period, the full stop, that is used to when one complete sentence or one complete thought is end, we use full stop. Then comma is used to divide the words or phrases and clauses. So you must be aware what is the phrase and what is the clause. Only then you are supposed to add the comma in the sentence. And then when comma is used, I have told you, and then question mark is used to ask the question, then exclamatory mark is used to show the emotions, then colon is used after the independent clauses, and then semicolon is used when two independent clauses are used when they refer to the same thing and they are related. Only then we use the semicolon. And then we have the difference between semicolon and colon, and then we use the dash when we are actually representing a thought, after a thought, after pause in a thought. We use m dash, n dash is used, that is a smaller one, that is the use to denote in the like gap, and then hyphen is used to create a gap in the words, that are hyphenated words. And then we have the brackets and parentheses, how they are used. They are used to like when you have to give the extra information within a sentence, we add in the bracket. And then slash or oblique when we are used to for the fractions, and then when they are used to show the separation, the division in something, we use a slash or oblique. Now there comes the importance. Effective use of punctuations facilitates reading and interpretation, and can in rare cases even prevent a completely different meaning, which can result in miscommunication. So consider the very first slide. We have let's eat grandpa, and the second one is let's eat comma grandpa. Then they prevent a complete different meaning that results in a miscommunication. So punctuation is very important in the English language. In the written communication, obviously in oral communication we are not supposed to add or show the punctuation mark, but in the written communication, and when you are writing a piece of writing, it's very important to take care of the punctuation marks, that provides the comprehensibility in the language. The readers can easily comprehend the ideas. So this is all about today's lecture, and these are the references. You can take guide from these references as well. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.